Hi, it's Sunday，今日星期日啦，and I'm just going to have a slow day。咁我今日要休息下啦。Last night, like around midnight, until 3 o'clock in the morning, I was in this Zoom meeting. With Taiwan，咁我琴晚其實係半夜嘅12點半去到凌晨3點鐘啦，同台灣有個 Zoom 啦咁，so I have connected the theatrical interpreter trainer in the States with Taiwan so that they can have their first training workshop and also like introduction of the access service in Taiwan。咁我之前咧其實就幫手聯繫咗美國嘅劇場視形傳譯嘅老師，去同台灣佢哋做一啲嘅工作坊啊各樣啊，咁就介紹劇場視形傳譯啦咁。So yesterday they have like a seminar， 咁琴晚佢哋有一個好似即係分享交流會咁樣啦咁，and then like they've invited somebody from Hong Kong， 咁佢哋邀請咗香港有一位嘅傳譯嘅朋友去做分享啦咁，and I was there to help with translation， 咁我就幫手去做翻譯啦咁樣，and yeah, so I was up like really late， 咁我其實係超早瞓啦，係啦咁樣。I plan to wake up later， 咁我其實今日本嚟係諗住晏啲起身嘅 ，but then my body clock just like automatically wake myself up at 6 and I couldn't go back to sleep。咁但係即係咧我基本上係朝頭早即係6點零鐘我就自動醒啦咁樣，咁我又冇特別好想翻瞓咁。And then I would have another Zoom meeting this afternoon。咁我今日晏晝有另一個 Zoom meeting 啦，so I was just kind of like okay, let me take it slow。Maybe not swimming， 咁可能今朝唔去游水啦 ，cause like I don't feel like maybe I have like enough energy or you know just like to be on the safe side 咁我哋覺得安全啲咧，可能唔游啦咁樣，maybe just go and sort of like immerse in the water and just like kind of chill， 可能去浸下水啦。如果一陣間晏啲即係想嘅話咁。But the weather is not as beautiful today， 咁但係今日亦都唔係話超好天嘅咁。And I also need to go and get grocery， 咁同埋咧我要去買餸啦咁樣。I literally almost clear everything in my fridge， 咁我基本上係已經幾乎完全清晒我之前買落嘅嘢啦咁樣。Yeah, so we'll continue to do the reading。咁我哋咧今日繼續讀呢個即係香港簡史啦咁樣。And just like so that you're aware of like what is going on in China right now。咁我諗大家而家都知啦，即係中國大陸裡面發生緊咩事啦，唔同嘅地方其實都開始有我見到有人即係講話佢哋咧叫起義啦咁樣，即係唔好叫暴動，唔好叫抗，即係唔好叫示威咁樣，係叫起義咁樣啦咁。So right now like a lot of Chinese cities are having these uprisings, which people were saying, you know, like it's not riot, this is not like a protest, it's uprising. But we'll see, you know, like it's still like well, we need to determine like still if it's going to sustain, like, you know, and how many more cities will be joining, but like definitely universities are joining now。咁但係咧起碼大家見到咧就係開始有大學係加入啦咁樣。So there's always a possibility when university students are part of it, then it would probably turn into a larger kind of like civil movement。咁通常好多時候學運其實就會慢慢變做民運啦咁樣。So we'll have to see， 咁我哋要睇下啦咁。And my friends and I were talking about it， 咁我同啲朋友有討論啦咁樣。It's just like so interesting is that like tyranny never know when to stop。其實咧我覺得暴政成日都唔係好知道咧到底幾時要停㗎佢哋，即係 because they were enjoying so much of this like thrill and the surge of like this power game， 因為佢哋喺權力嘅遊戲裏面佢哋實在太興奮啦咁樣。So they literally forget like they can get there because people allow them to。咁其實佢哋係完全咧唔記得咗咧，其實佢哋能夠做到咁樣咧，其實係因為人民咧係間接係其實做佢哋嘅幫兇同埋即係賦予佢哋咁樣，俾佢哋咁樣做嘅咁樣。Now with this zero COVID policy， 咁其實而家即係講緊清零嘅呢個政策咧 ，is definitely just pushing everybody on edge。咁其實係佢基本上係自己捉蟲入嘟嘟嘅。Because when you already are living under deprivation, under repression。因為當你已經長期喺高壓政策裏面即係生存嘅人咧，咁 no matter how much you have like accommodate or assimilate with this sort of like lack of liberty kind of lifestyle。咁無論你有幾所謂適應啊，習慣咗即係被適應去即係我哋冇咁多自由去生活啊、生存啊咁樣樣啦。The only thing that was like sort of thinly holding it together is the economy。咁其實經濟係一個好重要嘅，即係嗰條好即係非常之咁脆弱嘅線咧，係即係牽引住同埋連結住所有嘢啦咁樣樣。So definitely economy is not good right now。咁當然即係好多時候經濟就係而家唔好啦咁。I've heard so many times people told me， 我聽好多人同我講即係 because in Hong Kong we're always surprised like why would these Chinese be so compliant to Chinese Communist Party when they know like all these bad things they've done in the past。 咁即係到底點解即係大家明知中共係咁撲街，但係即係大陸即係其實佢哋啲人都仲繼續咁去即係唔去反抗或者點樣樣咧咁 ，especially right you know what happened in Tiananmen Square， 尤其是即係喺6·4天安門事件之後。But a lot of people also told me 咁，但係好多人就係同我講咧 ，it was because the Cultural Revolution was really, really getting them so bad in a way that in the 80s, despite that, you know, like tragedy of the Tiananmen massacre, it was also true, like in the 80s and 90s, people are living way, much better, and they're much wealthier。咁事實上係即係因為喺80-90年代，即係除咗呢一個嘅即係天安門嘅呢一個大屠殺之外咧，其實80-90年代佢哋係真係經濟起飛，真係每一個人都係真係富起來啦，即係咁樣樣。So for them, this is like a huge progress。咁對佢嚟講就係一個好大嘅進步啦。Of course, they didn't realize it's like because of the West actually helping and interfering in a way, you know， 但係佢哋冇知道嘅事情就係其實當時點解中國可以咁樣起飛，係因為西方嘅外來勢力嘅入侵啦，即係咁樣樣 because of the you know like world trade and because of you know like how the West are willing to come and invest, you know like there is this sort of like a relationship that was built like and that's how it helps. So when people talk about, you know, like foreign intervention right now, like saying, oh, you know, like we should stop this foreign intervention, we have to understand like this building and this development of China is actually all based on foreign intervention。 咁其實即係而家成日講外國勢力啊，咩勾結外國勢力啊咁樣樣，其實大家要知道就係中國能夠發展到今時今日，其實都係因為外國勢力先至可以發展到今時今日嘅。即係齋中國自己，其實佢點樣內循環，佢係冇可能做到，即係今時今日咁樣樣嘅國際地位啊、權勢啊各樣咁樣樣。Now so let's go back to like 200 years ago。 咁我哋翻去200年前，即係到底發生咩事啦？100幾200年前咁樣樣。So let's begin today。咁我哋今日正式開始。Read to Resist Day 198。當閱讀也是抗爭第198日。A Concise History of Hong Kong by John Mark Carroll。香港簡史從殖民地至特別行政區，著者高馬可，譯者林立偉。Although the opening of the Chinese treaty ports after the Opium Wars also benefited British firms, Hong Kong remained a more reliable commercial base because Britain enjoyed full political control over the colony. Hong Kong soon became Asian headquarters for many British firms that had powerful economic and political connections with London. Similarly, local Chinese merchants' connections with the overseas Chinese trade made Hong Kong a commercial base for trade with Southeast Asia. Hong Kong's economic development moreover benefited from a steady supply of cheap labor from China and from the numerous services that arose to support the colony's trade: banking, insurance, shipping, shipbuilding, and ship repairing. 雖然兩次鴉片戰爭後，中國開放多個條約口岸通商，令英國公司可以從中受惠，但香港仍然是更為可靠的商業基地。因為英國在政治上能全權控制這個殖民地， 不久後，許多與倫敦有密切經濟和政治聯繫的英國企業就以香港為亞洲總部。同樣地，本地華商與海外華人貿易的業務往來，令香港成為與東南亞貿易的商業基地。香港的經濟發展還得益於穩定而廉價的中國勞工供應，以及為支持殖民地的貿易而興起的多種服務行業，如銀行、保險、航運、造船和船舶維修。More important for Hong Kong's economic prosperity than any of these factors, however, were opium and Chinese emigration. With the exception of 2 American companies run by Quakers, all major foreign firms in early Hong Kong dealt in opium. Between 1845 and 1849, 3/4 of India's opium crop passed through Victoria Harbour, and an average of 40,000 chests of opium were stored in Hong Kong warehouses. Although the British government had initially considered banning opium ships from mooring in the harbour, colonial officials insisted that this would only divert the trade elsewhere. Not only was the opium trade highly lucrative, but colonists also contrasted the calming effects of opium on Chinese labourers with the violent effects of alcohol on the local European working class. And even colonial officials, who later considered curbing the opium trade, realized that any attempt to control the influx of opium would be blocked by the government of British India. 不過，若論對香港經濟繁榮的貢獻，以上因素無一能與鴉片和華人移民海外相比。除了2家由貴格會教徒開辦的美國公司外，香港開埠初期的主要外國企業全部沾手鴉片。在1845至1849年之間，印度運出的鴉片有3/4途經維多利亞港，再轉運中國沿海各地，而平均有4萬箱鴉片儲存在香港的貨倉。英國政府最初曾經想過禁止鴉片船下定停泊維多利亞港，但殖民地官員力陳，這樣做只會把這生意趕到其他地方。鴉片貿易不但利潤豐厚，殖民統治者還常指鴉片有令華人勞工平靜的作用。相較之下，本地歐籍勞動階層卻因為喝酒而引發暴力行為。此外，即使是後來想遏止鴉片貿易的殖民地官員也很清楚，他們若試圖控制鴉片流入，英屬印度政府一定會從中阻撓。So this is the reading of today。咁今日咧就係讀呢度啦，咁樣。And now we are talking about the dark history of Hong Kong's development。咁我而家講下咧，即係啲香港咧經濟史嘅即係黑材料啦，即係咁樣樣。But we all know already。咁但係其實我哋都知啦，即係 being seeded because of the Opium War and everything started with opium。咁其實就係因為即係鴉片戰爭，我哋先會被割讓啦，咁樣樣。And so 即係所有嘢其實都係從鴉片開始啦咁。So this like drug thing。呢個毒品嘅事情就係 about control and drug， 毒品同呢個控制嘅事情啦咁。I remember the first time I met Fijians in New Zealand in a playback workshop。咁我記得咧，我好多年前係第一次喺紐西蘭嘅時候係遇到非製嘅人民啦。我哋一齊係上呢個一人一故事劇場嘅工作坊咁樣樣。So we were in the same workshop。咁我哋喺同一個工作坊啦咁。And there were quite some stories about alcoholism in Fiji at the time。咁當時咧，即係佢哋分享好多關於就係即係酒精嘅酗酒嘅呢個問題，即係喺非洲佢哋嗰啲即係故事啦咁樣樣。喺非製呢個故事啦，非製群島嘅故事。And there was a stress about like how the colonies would use alcohol to poison the natives so that they would be under control, like because of addiction, so they would need money to get, like the alcohol, and so they would be, used and slaved away any way the colonists would like。咁其中就係講到其實殖民地政府係特別咧係將即係呢個酒精即係引入，然後咧令到佢哋全部上癮啦，變咗即係要酗酒咁，因為佢哋要錢去。即係飲酒買酒嘅時候，佢哋就會即係咩都做啦，然後即係就會願意成為佢哋嘅奴隸啦咁樣樣。So and I remember that was the first time, like even though I was under colonial rule at the time, like when I was growing up。即係雖然即係我細個喺殖民地長大啦咁 ，but it was the first time I sort of understand like, oh wow。Colonialism is bad, you know, like colonialism is bad。咁我記得嗰陣時我第一次即係先至真係知道，哦，原來殖民地係咁衰咁撲街咁樣，即係 because like growing up in Hong Kong didn't really feel that sort of like oppression in the same way, you know。因為喺香港大嘅我啦，即係我自己，即係其實係冇咁感受到嗰一種即係殖民地嘅嗰個。壓迫同埋即係嗰個意識冇咁強嘅咁樣樣。So it's just very interesting。即係我覺得好有趣嘅呢個部分就係Hong Kong was definitely a different kind of colony than any other colonies in the world. You know, even there was like being colonized by the Great Britain as well. You know, like we had like a lot of like similar treatment, but also there were a lot of different treatments。即係就算係英國當時即係大英帝國佢哋嗰個嘅殖民地嘅其他殖民地都好啦，即係香港嘅待遇都係有一啲唔同嘅，即係當然好多嘢係相似，但係亦都係有一啲嘢係好獨特，係好唔一樣咁樣樣。So I think like most of it is because of like this geographical location, because of the Victoria Harbour, and everything just comes down to money, right？ 即係我諗係真係地理位置好有關係啦，真係成個即係嗰個維多利亞港嘅水深海闊好有關係啦咁樣樣。同埋即係最重要當然即係去到尾就係錢啦咁樣樣，咩都係錢作怪啦，我哋成日都講。So I'm really like hoping right now， 我希望而家啦 ，whatever is going on with this world， 即係喺呢個世界發生嘅事啦 ，like the World Cup is going on， 即係世界盃喺度踢緊啦咁樣樣 ，and people。It's only now like talking about Qatar, you know, like the problems and the human rights issues and everything. And I was like, you know, you should have known already they shouldn't be granted the right to hold the World Cup in the first place, you know。即係大家而家先開始講話卡特爾即係點樣衰啊，啲人權狀況點樣差啊咁樣樣。咁但係即係或者去到嘅球迷點樣投訴啊咁樣。但係即係其實從一開始根本就唔應該俾佢哋主辦呢一個世界盃，同埋大家根本應該去杯葛啦，即係咁樣樣。But well the world like doesn't go this way, right？ 咁但係我哋知啦，世界永遠都唔係話要做啱嘅事，就係要做揾錢嘅事啊嘛。Because everybody is not just doing the right thing, everybody is doing the right thing that can make money, you know, like and。If there's a conflict, then making money comes first。咁如果即係有利益衝突嘅時候，就永遠都利益行先啦咁樣樣。Which is so sad， 因為我覺得咁都幾慘嘅 ，because apparently human rights is not considered as benefits, right？ 咁好似即係人權唔等於一啲值錢嘢或者唔屬於利益，咁其實都係一件好慘嘅事啦，我覺得。Which I think like people in China right now is suffering highly。咁而家即係你見到喺大陸嘅人就係即係完全地即係感受到啦，就係咁樣啦。即係當你要錢唔要人權嘅時候，咁去到一個咩臨界點，你哋就會即係發現原來你哋呢個選擇係錯嘅咧咁樣樣。So this is it for today。咁今日咧就嚟到呢度啦。I'm going to pop out and do my grocery run。咁我就要出去啦，買餸啦咁樣樣，and just enjoy my Sunday before my busy Spanish class begin。咁我就要喺我開始即係投入呢一個學西班牙文，即係正式返學嘅忙碌嘅日子之前咧，最後一日就要唞下啦咁樣。And because I'm going to have my classes Monday to Friday from 9 to 1 in the morning。咁因為之後係星期1至5嘅朝頭早9點上堂上到1點啦咁。So my reading would be you know pushed to like the afternoon and so like the uploading would be later than usual。咁所以即係之後可能啲片會上得再晏少少啦咁。But I promise you I'm going to read it every day. I would not be pre-recording anything。咁但係咧，我答應大家咧，一定係每一日係 live 咁去讀啦，即係唔會咧係預錄咁樣樣，然後即係逐條片上咁樣樣嘅。So really this is it for today and see you again tomorrow。好啦，咁即係講拜拜啦，聽日再見。